Welcome to Headstones and Microphones, where we use AI to step into the past through a researched, first-person simulation of history's most interesting people. I'm your host, Calvin. While we've added some creative storytelling, our goal is to inspire your own study of these fascinating lives. Now, let's meet our guest. I am absolutely thrilled today. We are sitting down with a true icon of the diamond. For those who may somehow not know who you are you?
Hi, Calvin. I'm Mickey Mantle, and for about 18 years, I had the best seat in the house, playing center field for the New York Yankees.
A legend. Let's take it back to the very beginning. When and where were you born?
I entered the world on October 20th, 1931, right in the middle of a thunderstorm in Spavinaw, Oklahoma.
And what was your given name at birth?
My full name was Mickey Charles Mantle.
Is there a story behind that name?
There sure is. My dad, Elvin Mutt Mantle, was a huge baseball fan. He named me after Mickey Cochran, who was a Hall of Fame catcher for the Philadelphia Athletics and Detroit Tigers. Dad thought Mickey was Cochran's real name, though it turned out it was actually Gordon. I'm glad he went with Mickey, though. It's got a bit more of a ring to it for a ball player.
It definitely does. What was your hometown like growing up?
Oh, it was small-town Oklahoma through and through. We moved to Commerce when I was young because my dad got a job in the lead and zinc mines. It was a tough, hard-working town, but for a kid, it was just wide-open spaces and dirt lots to play on.
What was your family life like?
We were close, but things were lean. My dad worked those mines all day, and when he came home, he poured everything he had into me and my brothers. He was my biggest hero and my toughest coach. My mother, Lovell, was the glue that held us all together.
What kind of kid were you?
I was a sports-obsessed kid. If I wasn't playing baseball, I was playing football or basketball. I was a bit shy, honestly, but put a bat in my hand and I felt like I could take on the world.
What were your biggest fears growing up?
Honestly, the mines. I saw how they wore my father down. I was terrified that I'd end up down there in the dark, breathing in that dust for the rest of my life. Baseball was my ticket out.
What did you dream of becoming as a child?
A professional baseball player. There was never a plan B. My dad and granddad started teaching me to switch hit when I was barely old enough to hold a bat. They'd take turns pitching to me from different sides.
What were some of your favorite activities in school?
Football was a big one. I was actually a pretty good halfback in high school, but really any time I could be outside and moving, I was happy.
What was your first job?
Aside from helping out at home, I worked a bit in the mines with my dad during the summers. That's all the motivation I needed to make sure my swing was perfect.
Was there a moment where you realized you were different from everyone else?
I remember a game in high school where I hit a ball so hard it cleared the fence, a road, and landed in a backyard way out there. People just stopped and stared. That was the first time I thought, maybe I've got something special here.
What's the decision that changed everything for you, but felt small at the time?
Playing shortstop for the Baxter Springs Whiz Kids, a scout named Tom Greenwade came to see a teammate of mine, but it started raining. He stuck around, saw me play, and that was the start of it all.
What was your biggest break?
Getting called up to the Yankees in 1951. Joining a team with Joe DiMaggio, that was the stuff of legends. I was just a kid from Oklahoma, suddenly standing in the middle of Yankee Stadium.
What were your biggest struggles before success?
My health. In high school, I got kicked in the shin during a football game and developed osteomyelitis. The doctors almost took my leg. I spent a lot of my career playing in pain, but I wasn't going to let that stop me.
Did you ever consider quitting?
Early on in the minors, I hit a real slump. I called my dad, crying, telling him I couldn't do it and I wanted to come home. He drove all the way up, started packing my bags, and said, "Fine, if you're a quitter, you can come back and work in the mines." I unpacked my bags pretty fast after that.
Were there any specific daily habits or routines that you feel are essential to your success?
Practicing that switch hitting every single day, left-handed and right-handed. It made me versatile and much harder for pitchers to figure out.
What job would you have had if fame never happened?
I probably would have ended up in those mines, just like my dad and granddad. It's why I played so hard. I was running away from that life as much as I was running toward the big leagues.
What was your life like before fame?
It was quiet, dusty, and centered entirely around family and the next game. We didn't have much, but we had each other.
How did relationships change after success?
It got complicated. Everyone wants a piece of you when you're the commerce Comet. It made it harder to know who your real friends were, but I stayed close to my teammates. Guys like Billy Martin and Whitey Ford were like brothers to me.
Did fame bring happiness?
It brought a lot of excitement and opportunities I never dreamed of, but it also brought a lot of pressure. I loved the cheering fans, but I struggled with the expectations.
What was the downside of becoming famous?
The loss of privacy. I was a shy kid at heart, and suddenly everyone in New York City knew my face. I turned to some bad habits to deal with that stress, which I eventually regretted.
What misconceptions did people have about you?
Some people thought I was arrogant because I was quiet, or that the game came easy to me. They didn't see the hours of treatment on my legs, or the pain I was in every time I ran the bases.
What past regrets did you carry that you spoke about?
I wish I had taken better care of myself. I often said that if I'd known I was going to live as long as I did, I would have taken better care of my body. I spent too much time in the bars and not enough time looking after my health.
Tell me about a time when everything went wrong and how did you handle it?
The 1951 World Series. I tripped over a drain in the outfield and tore up my knee. It was my rookie year and I thought it was over. I handled it the only way I knew how. I worked my tail off to get back on the field, even if I was wrapped in bandages from hip to ankle.
Who had the biggest influence on your life?
My father, without a doubt. He taught me everything about the game and gave me the drive to succeed. I spent my whole career trying to make him proud.
What was life like in your final years?
I finally got sober and tried to make amends. I spent time with my family and tried to use my story to warn others about the dangers of the lifestyle I led. It was a time of reflection and finding peace.
What were you working on in your career before you passed away?
I was doing a lot of appearances, card shows, and working with my restaurant. I loved meeting the fans and hearing how much the Yankees meant to them.
When and where did you pass away?
August 13th, 1995 in Dallas, Texas.
What's a random fact about you most people have never heard?
I was actually a really good bunter. People only remember the home runs, but I loved the strategy of the game too.
What was your most unique habit?
I used to wrap my legs in so much athletic tape before every game that it looked like I was being mummified. It was the only way I could keep my knees stable enough to play.
What was your favorite food?
You can't beat a good steak and some fried chicken. Simple Oklahoma tastes.
Did you have a favorite book?
I wasn't much of a reader, but I loved Westerns. Anything with a cowboy and a clear sense of right and wrong.
Did you have any known rivalries?
People always tried to make a rivalry out of me and Willie Mays. But honestly, I had nothing but respect for him. He was incredible. My real rivals were the pitchers trying to strike me out.
What's your funniest behind-the-scenes moment?
Oh, the pranks we played. One time, Billy Martin and I convinced a rookie that the all-clear siren in the city meant a nuclear attack was coming. We had that poor kid hiding under a table in a restaurant.
What advice would you give people chasing success?
Don't take your talent for granted. Play every game like it's your last, because you never know when your body might decide it's had enough. And most importantly, take care of the people who love you.
Mickey, this has been an absolute honor. Do you have any closing remarks about the interview or the stories you shared that you would like to share with the listeners before we sign off?
I just want to say thank you for letting me tell my story again. To all the fans out there, thanks for the cheers. They kept me going even on the days I could barely walk. It was a heck of a ride. Thanks for having me, Calvin.
Thank you, Mickey. What an incredible look at the life of the Commerce Comet, from the mines of Oklahoma to the bright lights of New York. And that wraps up another conversation from Beyond the Grave. Thanks for joining us on the Headstones and Microphones podcast. Remember, legends may die, but their stories never do. Please help spread the word by sharing and following the pod.